One of the things that I saw that I was originally led to by one of your LinkedIn posts was this guide to using AI in the hiring process for Merit America. And not only did it link to how you guys use AI as an organization and the way that you view AI, but I thought what was really unique and something I haven't seen from any other employer yet was it was really a guide for candidates on the do's and don'ts for how they should be thinking about AI in the job search and the job application process with Merit America. What was the catalyst for you putting that together?
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned the guide for using AI. Truly, we created it because I felt like when I was reviewing applications, and I was like, this feels AI, but we hadn't kind of shared those unspoken rules with candidates, like what is acceptable, what isn't acceptable. And I kind of wanted to have that transparency because I think when organizations are transparent, it builds that trust with candidates. And so there's no like, should I do this? Should I not do it? It's like, I think we even say, like, you should use AI to some extent in the hiring process, whether that's digesting articles about the organization or using one of those platforms that helps you kind of tailor your resume to the job description. And so we wanted to say it's okay to use that. But where it's not okay to use that is on the performance task or live in a panel interview when you're copying and pasting the questions into ChatGPT. I think AI is around us, and I wanted to kind of like address the elephant in the room and also just kind of, I don't know if it's leveling the playing field, but just saying, here's what's okay and here's what's not, so that there isn't that, gatekeeping of the rules.
I like it. I think there's so much out there that's so extreme one way or the other, like people saying, absolutely not, don't use it. It's making your resume and everything look like everybody else that's using it. And then on the flip side, there's people that are saying, use it a lot. But I think the balance is finding, setting proper expectations of, to your point, like the reality is this is just embedded in work now. This is just going to be something that everybody's using in the workplace now. And so we can only assume that it's going to be used and should be used in the hiring process because you're probably going to use it on the job in some form or fashion. So setting expectations, I think, is a really helpful guide for candidates who, are looking at what's being said online and they're not really sure, should I do this or should I not? And I think the other thing that's really important, you called out that you were seeing almost like some AI responses to questions where you're trying to really get a sense of, are they aligned with what we're doing, to what we were talking about in the beginning of the call? And so I think setting the right expectations not only helps candidates follow those expectations, hopefully, and then, you get a better outcome, you get better response as a result. But also I think to the candidate, it actually puts them in a better position for success too, because the reality is if they're copying and pasting stuff from ChatGPT into the application, it's not really their authentic answer. So what would that really lead to down the line anyways? Sure, it's like maybe you advance to the next step of the process, but the reality is like if you're not that interested in the organization or aren't aligned with the purpose, like is that going to really be a place you're going to end up long term anyways? So I think it's really important to bring that to light, set the proper expectations, and ultimately, set candidates up for success. So I love that you guys are doing that.